From one Mick to another. After 12,000 ASLEF workers walked out yesterday, causing the rail network to grind to a halt, the RMT union workers picked up the slack from where they left off after their first 48-hour walkout at the start of the week. Only 20% of services are in action today and tomorrow. Its leader, Mick Lynch, who's nearly as recognisable as Prince Harry by now, joined his team on the picket line at Euston, and his message remains stoic, despite the government's plan announced yesterday to introduce legislation to stop strikers from going all out in order to, as they say, maintain a basic function and deliver minimum safety levels for the public's right to life and livelihoods. Plans Lynch calls desperate.
Well, it's an outrage. It's an attack on the civil liberties of the British people, of British workers. It's a sign of a desperate government that's lost the argument on these industrial action issues, on public sector pay and on the funding of public services. So when you lose an argument, you change the rules, don't you? You reframe the debate. And they're changing the rules of the game as they go along. So it's a sign that they're desperate and they want to frame the trade unions as the enemy of the people, when in fact the trade unions are the hope of the people. Well, the polls are showing that even during this, we've had 4 weeks of continuous action in this latest phase. We've taken a little bit of dent on public opinion, but it's very high. It's up over in the mid-45%, I think, in the latest poll. That's a very good score in the middle of industrial action, and we expect that to come back as people get over this latest phase. Our numbers are at record highs for an industrial action campaign, as they are for the nurses, the teachers and the posties and everyone else.
Well, commuters in the capital have seen their days heavily disrupted as a result. The Elizabeth line between Paddington and Heathrow, as well as Liverpool Street and Shenfield, have seen just 2 trains per hour as opposed to 1 every 6 minutes. All services stopping at 5:30 p.m. today. The District and Circle lines, as well as the Overground, have been running a reduced service as well, with the District and Overground stopping at 6 p.m. The first Friday and Saturday night of the new year may not always be a big one in the capital after an expensive and indulgent festive period, which is just as well as the instructions remain to travel only if absolutely necessary. Network Rail says they've lost £400 million in ticket sales since the strike started last year.
You need a scarf.
With a meeting scheduled for Monday between both Mick Whelan and Mick Lynch, with Transport Minister Hugh Merriman over this long-running dispute over pay and conditions. With the public court in the middle still, the government's ideas on restricting industrial action may well heighten tensions between the two factions, rather than facilitate an end to the chaos.